Okay, you ready? Let's get started on being a friend.
Okay. Right off the bat, I don't like that word. Sticky friendship.
But whatever. Yeah, but it's because. Did you read my definition of why?
Explain it to me, because I don't get it. It confuses me. So maybe if I'm, of course, I'm kind of slow.
Well,
sometimes,
actually,
so.
I probably didn't put in my definition. So it doesn't matter. We'll take that
You
out.
put it in, or
No, because there's a definition for it, and I didn't copy that over.
okay.
I went searching for information, and that did not.
Like starting off with my, I don't like that.
Right.
That was the thing that jumped out at me.
Well,
It's
you
like, I
know,
don't get it.
there's a scripture that I didn't put in here, and that's where a friend sticks closer than a brother. And that's what the sticky friendship means. So that through the adversity and the hard times, you stick close together. So you need the sticky friendship to stick together. That's where that came from. But if you don't like it, we'll take it out. Okay.
Sticky.
Okay.
Sounds like,
Okay, we're good. Keep going.
sounds like something you should wash off.
Yeah, but you still need that kind of friendship. Okay, keep
All right?
going.
So that takes.
Yeah,
so-
we took that out, but I do remember why I did it.
Okay.
Okay.
There's
not really much on this page that we need.
No.
Probably it doesn't really get started till over here where our original stuff is. I'm not even sure if we need any of the new stuff.
Well, when we're talking about the speaking the truth in love, that seems fairly obvious, but less apparent when you're in the middle of something. You forget it. You forget about it.
Yeah, but we could move that over here to calling out the best in them. And it says, it says that they can speak the truth to us when no one else will. And we could put here that it can just go right here.
Yeah, just move it over there.
Okay.
But your number one,
Yes. Wait, I'm lost.
page 2. When your spouse is your best friend,
Yeah.
I mean, those were characteristics I saw in us. And in particular, I don't know where you got the list from specifically, but I know that I can account for most of these with us. Especially
Yes.
the ones that really tick you off, but they're still funny. Arguments
Yes.
turn into playful
Yes.
banter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I try
the freedom
I will
to do
upset you and then
stupid-
try and make you funny, or be funny and upset you, whichever.
well, it goes both ways because there's times when you're
Yeah.
being okay. But I also, sometimes like when you're doing stupid stuff in front of the family, and I'm like, oh my gosh, but it doesn't really bother me.
What's an example
like
of
it's
doing
like
stupid stuff?
I don't know. You do it all the time.
Whatever it is, I do it all the time.
It hasn't been a while. It's been a while since we've been around everybody.
Been a while.
So the other one is doing something silly, because I will do what I consider silly, stupid stuff in front of you that I probably wouldn't do in front of, although I'm becoming way more outgoing now than I ever have. But, like my dancing at home, I would never dance in front of people that way.
I got a video of it.
What?
Yeah.
No, you
You're
don't.
just lucky I haven't posted it.
Oh my
Said if I posted that, you were in here dancing and I was around the corner and I was videotaping it. I was like, well, I could either post this and really say something wonderful, but she would be too overwhelmed with that look on your face
How
right there.
stupid does it look? I'm very concerned. See, I don't mind dancing in front of you. Okay. But you are more yourself in the relationship,
I'll just
and that's
be like
part
that
of
bird. Yeah.
the yes.
Get away from me.
But yeah, so we've got that when your spouse is your best friend, all those things kind of come on. So you like talking about those.
Yeah, those were good.
These we're gonna bypass that and go straight into, because we don't want to take forever.
I mean, these are the obvious ones, but people think they're obvious. But we found out some people don't think they're
know.
obvious at all.
Right.
I mean, you say something like spend time together. That's kind of like
Yeah, but
duh.
most of the time, for example,
But
the
we have to
reason why I
describe
put
what
spend
that
the
is.
time on here is because when you would come home from work back in the day, when you stayed late on purpose, you would come, and all of this is meant for us to be sharing with other people, not like, my eye just won't quit watering. Um, you didn't want to talk about, well, pretty much anything because you worked all day. But the only thing that I had to talk about was the kids and bills, and that made you not want to spend time. But that's all I had because that's all I was doing
Yeah.
was being at home. But we need to find time. Spouses, especially with kids, need to have a time where they spend time together. Kids are in bed, at 8 o'clock, and
Nobody
even
does that anymore.
I know, but still,
They just
they
let their
need
kids run to midnight.
whatever. They need to take the time.
That'd be my first
but
thing
the
I'd tell
other
anybody.
this one's huge for me, and that's have fun together. Because everybody's so concentrating on raising kids and making money and working that they don't have a lot of fun together, or they only go have fun together and they never do any work together.
Right.
And it's kind of got to be both.
You can't put the other person in one category. They have to be in
In
each
all
of your
of them,
categories, some
right.
percentage.
Right.
Not equal.
Well,
not equal.
So one of the things that I was thinking about today
for
when
us,
I was
it's equal, but
when I was getting this, well, no, I'm going to look at the household work, not work at the office, because we do work together. And I'm talking about
no, I just mean there's some
most
relationships where they exclude their wife from it 100%.
of what? Fun?
Yeah, they go and have fun, but they never do the big fun things that they really enjoy with their wife or their husband.
Right.
And I see chasms in people's relationships like that.
But
that
I
allows
also see
suspicions
where
and other things to come in.
where sometimes
Hurt
one
feelings.
does all the work. Like the
You like you?
yes, like me, but I mean it as in
You mean at home?
yes, I'm talking about at home. That's what I said just a minute ago. If you would listen to me,
Just making sure we're still on that
cleaning.
topic.
But if I need help, you help. You cook and you help do dishes, but you hate cleaning house and doing wash. And I've never really asked you, to help because you worked and I stayed home. But now I work, and so anyway. But I also do the finances, and I also do, the reminders for.
She's a guy, so that's all I could think of when you said that.
But I mean, so when I'm saying that you should be sharing in the good times, the fun, happy fun together, you should also be doing some of the work together. So, you can't just expect the other spouse. If you have a friend and you're going to go out and do stuff and say, you're going to go out to eat, you're going to go to movies, you're going to go shopping, talking from a girl's point of view, guys going golfing, top golf, although I would do that too, going shooting, whatever. Whatever you're going to go do, you would do that with your friend. But if your friend needed help, painting their house or pulling carpet out of a car, after it gets flooded, I'll never forget that's what Megan did for Carrie after Harvey hit. Her car got flooded and they stripped all the stuff out. They work together, but they also had fun together. And that should be in a spouse. That's a big one for me. That they should both do it. So our next one is get excited about what they get excited about, which is
I'm still stuck on the irony of pulling the bad carpet out. So anyway, just thinking ahead. How'd that work out? I'm just saying.
what are you talking about?
Nothing. I just thought it was funny. Some other things I was thinking about that have nothing to do with what we're doing right now.
Okay. So our next one is getting excited about what they get excited about.
Yeah.
So,
Enough.
I used different things like you like debates and politics and news, and so I watch it and participate in conversations with you.
That stuff.
That kind of stuff. You just do it,
straightforward.
right? The next one, I noticed you circled a word in that one, but.
Yeah, I mean, learn their weaknesses, and that has a lot to do with knowing their history, which we're going to talk about here in a second.
Right.
But it is so important that so many people don't. They think they're dealing with a present person. This person lives through their past. I mean, everybody has a history that generates who they are. and
Right.
It depends on where they've separated themselves from that past, if they ever have,
Right.
or the things
Well,
from their past they're trying to separate.
It's one of the things that I want people to understand when we're talking about being friends, though, is this right here: learn their weaknesses, fears, and love them anyway. Isn't that what best friends do? Why wouldn't you do this for your spouse? Whereas a lot of couples that I see, it's like, I can defend my friend. Well, she came from this horrible background. She was raised in this horrible divorce and all of this. But then your spouse does something and shows that he's afraid of something. And then you go talking, like using me, say I'm the example. I go out with friends and I can defend any friend from any flaw they have. And you have a flaw, and I'm like, what? The what?
You could defend your friend like a good daytime soap opera. Every time I watch one of those things, those people will defend.
Yes.
I'm like, who does that way?
But so the reality is, though, there's a lot of spouses that hold there's a lot of people that hold their spouses up to a different level, if you will, technically we should to a degree. I do expect more from you because you're my husband.
Right.
But I also should give you, I shouldn't be belittling your weakness or your fear. I should realize, wow, this is where he came from. This is where he was as a child. Of course, that goes to knowing the history, which we're getting to. So, what's our next one that I have typed up?
You're on the same one, yeah. Make them feel good about themselves. We can go through that. It's
really hard for you.
It's hard for me to do.
That's fairly easy. Did you hear yourself?
It's fairly easy to talk about.
Yeah, it is. It's fairly easy to talk about.
It's totally different.
Yes, for you.
To feel comfortable with saying things that.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard for you. You're not used to doing.
Okay.
So that'll be what we got to talk to you the most, is that.
Okay.
The next one's call out the best in them.
Right.
And that's like the whole purpose. I mean, the main purpose for.
That's where we talk about
the main benefit of, especially a man getting a wife, is that the wife should make you. It's true both ways, but I think that you see it more in the stabilizing aspects of a good woman for a man brings him to a higher level.
Yeah.
Than he would have ever achieved without her, because she can have him see things in himself, because she can speak to him the way we just talked about earlier, in ways that nobody else could, that he'll receive.
Right.
So that to me is one of the most powerful parts of a relationship from a man's perspective.
As long as you're speaking truth to them.
Right.
I don't like, whether it's a friendship or a spouse or even parents to children, that ooey gooey, mushy, which I'm okay with. But if you don't ever let them know, you're not good at this, but you're awesome at this. This is where you shine, right here.
Yeah,
this is your thing. But you can't tell somebody constantly,
well, that's where
you have everything.
We've done videos before that they really need to practice with in order to make this part come true.
Yes.
That's the assertiveness nature.
Yeah.
You can't just bow down and just decide it's not worth battling.
We also
this
have
is the time to step up.
When we're calling out the best in them, we're supposed to also hold them. This is the part where you want me to move up here to always ask God to give you the right wording and timing when you need to speak the truth in love with your mate. Wounding is remedial, never punitive. So when I want to say something to you that I don't appreciate you've done or haven't done, just using us as an example, as we always do, I don't go after you. And I mean, if I'm really hurt and angry, there are times that I know I have just like attacked you, which, would cause wounds or hurt. I mean, it goes both ways. Everybody's done this. What we've learned to do, though, is for me to say to you something more helpful for you to see what it is versus me attacking you and making you be hurt or punished from it.
Yeah, we've changed how we do that a lot. And you can tell when it's happening, that it's happening. And that's good. It's not a bad thing.
Right.
Most of the time you think, well, this seems pretty forced. This seems pretty fake, artificial, And quite honestly, whenever we're doing it, it still feels awkward. There's times where it's like, oh, I see what we're doing.
Well, there's times
we're having
that it's
a reasonable understanding going on right here, and you're trying to avoid words of hurt. And when you're good at
Or
it,
there's
or you've been doing it for a while, you recognize it right off the bat. But
Or-
that's okay because that's what we're doing.
Or there's times that I want to hurt the heck out of you, and I know that I'm not supposed to be. So when I'm having to force all that down and just be really honest with you and say, okay, here's where we are.
Yeah, both those times.
But-
just the 2 times that's ever happened.
I'm just saying there's times that it happens, but I recognize that I'm doing it wrong and I have to call myself in order. And you recognize it, but you appreciate the fact that I call myself out, that I shouldn't go that direction. And I will either stop, or after I've done it, then I have to make amends for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways to call an end to that too, and we both have done that.
Well, yeah.
It's like, nope,
Not gonna happen.
Not happening that way.
That's what I mean. I usually
either-
catch myself
We're either
and
gonna
stop.
or we're gonna do this again later because right now ain't gonna happen. You
Yep.
already.
Okay, so the next one is something that is much easier to extend to friends than your spouse and even your immediate family for some reason.
What, Grace?
Grace and forgiveness. It's just much easier to dismiss what your friends have said or done to a degree.
Oh, it makes perfect sense to me.
Then
you,
it
you don't
does.
have to live with them. They're not in your face. It's not an enduring presence.
Right.
that
Can you
just
imagine
have to
right
deal
now,
with.
though, with the pandemic and everybody being stuck in a house with the grace and forgiveness that has to be going on?
That's why the HPD is so busy.
Yes, they are.
you got HPD trying to figure
But
out how
it is harder
settle these
for
things for
us to
people.
show it. And there's going to be people who say to us, no, that's not true. I can extend grace and forgiveness. And then there's being a martyr. It
Well,
goes to the other direction of being the martyr of, well, I'm just going to let him or her do whatever.
Yeah,
and
that's back to
fall
our
on my sword and
assertiveness
killed
trading.
myself. Yeah.
And that goes back to the
So-
assertiveness, where you're either using it
Right.
as a tool,
But that's a big
one way
one.
or the other. But when we see that situation, it's difficult sometimes for people to discern the difference of whether they're wielding something as a weapon or not,
Right.
because they've become so mechanized
Yes.
to it.
Yeah.
They don't even recognize it's mechanical. It just
Right.
happens, and then all of a sudden you start to point it out. And the tool in those particular situation is just recognizing it and
Well,
giving them key trigger points
Once you
to
start
recognize,
thinking,
wait, I am, because you're now
Yes.
starting people to think before they speak or think before they act.
or even if it's in the middle of it and you stop and go, wow,
Or in
this
this
is
case-
not supposed to be happening. This is not what I came in here
Realizing
for.
the difference between reaction and respond, reacting
Yes.
and responding.
Yeah.
If you can just get that mindset in there, you're well
Yeah.
on your way.
Yeah.
Because then you'll start to think, am I about to say something that's productive or counterproductive? And
Right.
sometimes you just want to say something counterproductive just to get it out.
Well,
And that's
usually, like for us,
that can be okay as
but
long as
one
you set
of the tools in
groundwork
that
for it.
is if I'm not showing you grace, you will get in my face with something really stupid. Well, either I get, Michelle, stop it, which I've had a few times, not that many, but a few.
A few.
Or you try to do something really dumb and stupid that's supposed to be cute for me to laugh at because it snaps you out of where you are if I haven't caught on to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I've learned to catch on to what
Yeah, sometimes you've already shot a hole in the bottom of your boat, and so I'll say something
Well,
silly
but I
to put a cork
but
in
when
it.
I realize that I've done it, I usually can stop it.
Yeah.
But there have been times where I'm not in control and I've lost it, which, I mean, that doesn't happen very often anymore. Occasionally. Because most of the time, now it's just I tell you I'm done and I walk off and I don't even get in your face.
Right, and it's not
And
an I'm done.
It's not I'm done, I'm just
it's not a punitive I'm
Right.
done, we're not talking to each
Right.
other, we're going to play some old games
yeah.
with each other, and I'm going to leave a hurt environment wide
Yeah,
open. It's
no.
I'm done, which is we know what the words mean.
Yeah.
It means
Everybody
I'm
needs
done
to
for
have
right now. Give me a minute, and then you can approach me with what we need to solve in the
but
problem, or
everybody
vice
needs
versa.
to have some words too. When you're becoming best friends with each other,
I mean, I'm done is
it's not I'm done with
could
you.
be very misunderstood
Yeah, I
by
know.
other people. I'm done. I'm done doesn't mean I'm done with the relationship
or
it just
or
means
even that topic.
I'm done
just
with
done for
this
this
instant.
second. Yes. Okay, so the other part, this is huge, and I think you are amazing when it comes to this. Oh, wait. No, I'm not. I'm on the one after this.
Well, let's talk about that one. I like it. Where did you go?
Go ahead and do this one, because this is the one that
Oh, yeah.
you are no good at.
No, I was gonna say.
This one, you are horrible at.
Yeah.
This one, you are amazing. So
This
you
one-
talk about that one.
Is put them first.
Yeah,
Don't let your spouse just be one of your friends.
right.
Well, that part
You're good at because I'm your only friend.
Right.
I get it.
So that part's default for me because.
But that's all on you because you should have more friends.
But I like you.
But you should have more friends.
I should have more friends.
You should.
But the part you're talking about is putting you first.
Yes.
They should be the most important friend. Well, you are because you're
Yes.
the only. But in this
Yes.
particular case, you're talking about your relationship come before any other relationship in your life. But all these things I'm still really good at. But what you mean that I'm bad
Well,
at is
putting me before you.
right.
Yes.
The problem is we've addressed all the right issues, but we
Right.
forgot number one.
Well, no, it says here God.
No, I don't mean that. I
Oh.
mean, obviously that's the number one, but I mean
Yeah.
as far as putting yourself,
Yes, your spouse
it's
or
your
your friend.
selfishness
Yes.
before your wife. That to
But
me,
you
what this was really
you
all
would
about
do that
was
with a friend, and I'll give you an example. Whether it's somebody at church who needs us, or your partner Tom, or somebody like that, somebody that you consider a friend. Okay, pastor.
all right.
Okay, if you saw that they were doing something that you could help with, you want to help and do and put them first, and you'll take care of it. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. But for me, if I'm in that
We'll
situation,
figure it out.
right. See, that's my difference right there for you.
Yeah.
That's where I'm not put first. So, okay.
But you will figure it out.
Okay, so the next one this is one where you shine. You are so good at this. You amaze me with this.
I don't know why.
Because it's really kind of, you know how your mom is so good at
Selecting the perfect gift for the perfect person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Quentin has that
You
too.
gonna cry again?
I am.
How many years are you gonna have to take before? See, I just
It
shot
hasn't even been
I shot a
one
hole
yet.
in the boat. And
It
now I'm
hasn't
trying to
even
put a
been
cork
one
in it.
yet. So,
Okay.
but the reality is, we were sitting at doing one of the 5 love languages when we did one at this church at the Ark a long time ago, 15 years ago probably, at somebody's house as a small group, and we did one class, and there was like 3 or 4 couples there, and you said something about knowing your spouse. You just need to know your wife, and you went into this whole thing about, I know her so well, just talking about how well you knew me. If she's listening to this kind of music, this is where she's at. If she's listening to this kind of music, this is where she's at. I can pay attention to what music she's listening to, and I can know where I need to be to help her, because music feeds her. And one of the other guys was, kind of upset that you knew me that well. But my point being is, well, first, I mean, it's just that it's not just that you know the kind of music I like, which is everything, and you don't care about that. You know, when I'm listening to certain styles of music, what mood I'm in, and a lot of people can say, yeah, they know that, but it's a little bit different. I mean, all my colors, my movies, there's not that many. TV shows, there's not that many. Even though it gives you a hard time, the stuff that I went through early on in life that makes me kind of up here sometimes.
Between us, but also with your family, and that's the part we've discovered that
Yes.
we took for granted when first trying to help people, and we're hearing
Right.
stories. Is
They
oh
don't
my
know
gosh, you've never told each
history.
other your story, and I mean
Yes.
your whole
Right.
story,
Yeah.
from childhood,
Yes.
first thoughts,
Right.
all the way up
Yes.
to 10 minutes ago.
Right. Well, yeah, because there's good and bad, and every kid's gonna grow up and say, my parents were awesome. They were really good here. Most kids, And my parents sucked at this because, well, parents are humans and we're going to mess up. So that's just a fact, Jack. But, you know, my family was very lovey-dovey. Yours never touched or said I love you or did anything
Right.
like that,
Yeah.
which just freaked me out. You know what I mean? But it spoke to me so that I could see where you're coming from.
Right.
You know?
I mean, you're going to get frustrated because the touchy-feely stuff is completely foreign to me, especially when we first got together.
Right.
You would totally misinterpret that,
Yes.
especially at the beginning stages, as rejection.
Oh my goodness, though. The first time I met your family, I got it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I totally
okay.
got it. I
Right.
understood it at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
it makes sense, but it alters how you
but
perceive.
what you need to know, the most important part of someone's childhood, whether it's the most painful part or the most
that's
fun, enjoyable, you need to know all of it.
I mean, it's important to me to know those things because sometimes that's where you have to go back to. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you've run out of ways to
we can say
process a
this.
situation, and the
There's
best way you can reach someone, like when I bought you the elephant or whatever, I was looking for a way to connect with you in a way that nobody else can connect with you.
Right.
I mean, it's intimate.
Yeah.
And it spoke tens of thousands of words.
Right.
And it became
one of my
powerful.
favorite memories in my life was getting that elephant for Christmas when we lived in Marlow, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I got 3 gifts. I got a camera, a Polaroid camera, the one step, and I got a bathrobe, and I got an elephant. And the most fantastic Christmas ever was that Christmas. And I had many good Christmases.
Yeah, I mean, just that one, for whatever reason, spoke to you that year. And it stuck to me.
Yes.
Because of and it wasn't the story, it was how you said the story that was saved in me. You know, so I saved a place in there. It said, well, maybe I won't remember all the details.
But you know, you would not, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of spouses who do that with their spouse because they love their spouse, but this is where the friendship part comes in. You really want to know them, and you really get to know your friends. You know, women go out and they talk, and hopefully they're not bashing their husbands and their kids.
That's all I ever ask you when you go out.
I'm not ever bashing you, and everything you hear me say, even when we're doing our live broadcasts and stuff, is what I would say to somebody else. So there's no bashing going on. I mean, nothing that you and I haven't talked about or whatever.
Right. But we also learned that a long time ago too. I mean,
right, because there are people who do.
Yeah.
But my whole thing though is you wouldn't do this with a friend. I mean, our whole point is your spouse should be your best friend. They should be. We're not even talking about best friends right now. We're just talking about having a friendship. Some spouses are not even friends.
Yeah.
Let alone a best friend.
The best friend, if you're looking for a best friend, that's where you go. That's what we just talked about.
Yes.
Best friends will go back.
Yes.
The things that touched your soul are the things that they're going to care about.
Okay. You just said that. There's something that I want to do that I haven't done yet.
You like my segue?
For Dana. I need to buy
a
Smurf.
Yeah.
And a bottle of Whiteout.
Oh boy.
And mail those to Dana.
That'll work. I don't even have to know what they're for, but I know what they're for.
So,
see,
there will be days.
You get something out of it too.
Well, the reason why I like us doing our talking like this is we grow.
Sure.
That's why I like doing the talking. I mean, we talk all of these out because we grow through it. And there are always, no matter how many times we do the friendship part, there's going to be something new that comes in. And that's why I like redoing and rehashing some of our things. I mean, this is more than a year old, but let's get down here
biblical process
to the end of the thing. So one of the reasons why you want the friendship is because there's going to be days you just don't want to be friends with each other. I mean, married to each other. I mean,
or both. Right.
Yeah. Well, but the whole point is there are days that you really are not going to want that being whatever, you had a fight the night before, something wasn't settled over a couple of days, somebody's not doing something for the other one that they
Yeah,
should be.
somehow
So there's some strife, and
a
strife
scab
can
has
go
been
on.
lifted.
Right. So when I say you're not wanting to be married, I don't mean like somebody's talking about divorce. I just mean there's some rocky age stages in the marriage. But when you have the friendship, you still are able to do the friendship part.
They're separate.
Yes.
They're not the same thing. They're two separate
Right.
connections to the same individual. When the
Yes.
marriage part has fallen apart or has broken,
Right.
and it, again, all this has to do with the willingness of both people,
Yeah.
and that's where practice and some tools and things come in. But we've talked about this so many times that there are two different avenues to the same individual, and if one's not working well, you have another avenue you can change lanes into to get in there so that you can open the gates to the other one. So I mean,
Well,
we
this-
talk about that all the time,
This.
but a lot of people don't think that there's just like one connection, and it's like, no, there's,
Well,
these are the two primary connections.
right. But the thing is, the marriage relationship demands a level of love and intimacy and vulnerability that goes beyond friendship, and can only be found in a God blessed bond.
Right.
But you can't do that if you're not friends. Not really. And not really have that deep joy and happiness. And everybody's always like, what a great relationship. What a great relationship. And I'm looking at some of those relationships that they're thinking are so great. And I'm like, they're just going through the motions. I mean, they are husband and wife. They do love each other. The beginning, when you and I first started talking, we were talking about the guy at work who, just has celebrated a big anniversary. And so everything he does is he goes through and he buys the flowers. Valentine's Day, it's on his calendar. He's going to buy the flowers. It's anniversary. I'm going to go buy the flowers. It's all the motions. But is there really a friendship? My eyes are just watering so
Yeah,
bad.
mine too. That's why I've been
Oh
looking.
my gosh, we moved over here and my eyes are just crazy bad. So anyway, to me it's like, yes, they have a happy marriage, and yes, but I don't know if they realize how much better it can be.
It may be happy, but I don't know if it's fulfilled.
Yeah. There's a
complete.
deeper, it's much deeper.
Sometimes there's the social relationship that people see,
Right.
and what they don't see is the lack that is behind every public moment. Anytime the public light goes off, I see so many relationships that just go separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
And some people think that's awesome, and I think we would interpret that as most cases as
But
being a
we've
way.
got quiet times too. In the car, there's a lot more quiet
Yeah,
times
but we
now.
spend endless hours together.
I know, but I'm just
We
meaning
set the
we are
worst
just now
Well, we set
getting,
the worst examples
but
in restaurants.
we're just now getting to quiet times. 30 years.
Yeah.
We've always, always, always talked incessantly with each other about everything.
My favorite
And now
one,
the other day
driving
going home
from
work.
San Antonio that one time. What are you thinking about?
Oh.
That's so funny. Normally that's a bad thing, but that particular day I was ready to tell you.
Right, but my point with that was right now we're getting to where it's okay to have the quiet time in the car. We don't have to talk. And I don't mean like we felt forced before. It's still just a little different. Like, I bet there are other couples who've had that more than we do, is my point.
Right, because it's a quiet time, not because of lack of things to say, but for fulfillment of things been said.
Okay, good.
That was just off the top of my hat there.
Oh, good. Okay, so we're ready for later.
Okay, and then we can talk about, to me, the whole soulmate versus soulmate is that. It's when you make the commitment that you're solely that you commit solely to that one person, opens, to me, that's the paving the road to what people would refer to as the soulmate.
Right, and I
Because
don't
you
like
don't
it when
get-
other people say, "Oh, you're my soulmate," and they're talking to 500 different people that there's
Right.
their soulmate, and
Right.
it's
Now,
like,
my
no.
point is, you only get to be a soulmate in that regards, if you want to entertain the idea of a soulmate, by making that person your sole responsibility, your sole love, your sole everything, because it doesn't happen the other way around.
Right.
You build it. You don't find it. You build it. Okay. That'll do.